On CrossroadsToday.com, an officer involved shooting at a nightclub in Victoria after shots were fired from a vehicle. And a shooting at a retail giant, an investigation into the shooting is underway as police look for suspects. Plus, the last Powerball drawing of 2023 took place Saturday night, and once again, no one won the big jackpot. Find out what it's valued at now.
And we got some more cool weather for the rest of this week with a good shot at some showers and thunderstorms for a few select days. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
The Texans and the Cowboys control their own destiny. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today is the first day of January 2023.
Ooh, it's a new year.
2024.
She said it again.
I did it again.
She's back in the past.
And the time
Still in the past.
is 6:31 on our Monday morning, and it is Copyright Law Day.
Oh, that's a pretty important day, actually.
Yes.
People need to, can't be breaking any laws with the copyrights. Copyright will get you.
You know, I hear copyright law and entertainment law, like contract law. Those are some of the more lucrative, less drama-filled law areas.
Oh, I don't know about drama-filled because it is filled to the brim with information, I'm sure.
Especially with AI now.
Oh, yeah. Everything's totally
different now.
So many
questions with AI.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, Parker, let's deal with some questions we can find answers to. How long is this fog going to let up? I mean, I guess till the sun rises, right? And it burns all the precipitation up?
Yeah, we're thinking probably around 8 a.m. when the sun starts coming up in the sky and you're starting to get out on your morning commute. That's what I'm thinking the fog will be finally lifted. But if you wake up right now, if you're just tuning in, like we were saying, look at this fog that is out there right now. You can barely even see anything that's like less than a tenth of a mile away. That's like literally maybe 10 meters. I'm saying meters because that's the only thing that's coming to mind right now. I know we're using the imperial system, but a little chilly out there starting out your morning here at the Crossroads. 54 starting out the morning. Well, at the dew point, though, just 1 degree off. Get that 97% humidity, which is bringing us all of that fog. In fact, that fog is so thick out there as you take a look at your visibility. Currently, right now, most of us are under a mile in visibility. Some of us are finally out of that, kind of getting out of that as we speak, but most of us also under a quarter mile of visibility. With it so thick out there, the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for most of us here on. I don't have to figure out what's going on there. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. It's a new little fun little gadget for me. I have to figure out what that is. I don't know why it's flashing, but most of us are under a dense fog advisory this morning, so please be careful on the roads this morning. You don't want to get in any kind of wrecks to start out the new year, but we are expecting some showers tomorrow and also on Friday. Take a look at that Friday day later because take a look at tomorrow at your future track here. We're thinking those showers are going to start developing probably around the noon time, especially over the Santa Ana area, and they're going to become more widespread and more developed going into the afternoon and even into the overnight hours tomorrow. This is 9 o'clock tomorrow, or we might even see a couple of thunderstorms with we might even hear a few rumbles of thunder. We'll take a look at those chances for that and more in just a few more moments. Back to Kiwana.
Thank you, Parker. Japan has issued a tsunami warning after multiple strong earthquakes struck on New Year's Day. The massive quakes hit off the coast of Ishika, with one even reaching a magnitude of 7.6, with tremors being felt in Tokyo as well. The agency also issued the tsunami warning after 32,000 buildings had lost power. That's the Japanese Meteorological Agency, and the Japanese public broadcaster NHK TV has now warned that waves could reach as high as 5 meters or 16.5 feet. They've also urged people on the entire West Coast to escape to the highest place as soon as possible. Texas liquor stores will be closed for 61 straight hours to start the new year. The stores closed at 9 p.m. on Saturday, and they're going to reopen Tuesday. That's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. The Texas Liquor Control Act, signed into law 2 years ago, mandates no liquor stores can be open on Sundays or on major holidays like New Year's Day. The law does not affect beer or wine sales. There was an officer-involved shooting at the Goat nightclub. BPD officers responded to this disturbance call at the club on Houston Highway on Sunday around 3 a.m. While officers were investigating the call, gunfire came from a vehicle as it was leaving the parking lot, which led to this incident becoming an officer-involved shooting. Per BPD policy, the Texas Rangers have responded to investigate. This is an ongoing investigation. This was an isolated incident and the public is not in danger. 2 people were injured at a Walmart in a shooting at a Walmart in Wyoming, Michigan on New Year's Eve. Police say they received several calls reporting shots fired at the Walmart. Around 6 p.m., Lieutenant Andrew Kohler said there was an interaction between two suspects and an individual that resulted in at least 10 rounds being fired. Upon arrival, officers found a woman who was unrelated to the situation that had been shot. A man who authorities believe was targeted in the exchange was taken to a local hospital by private transport. Both victims being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. An investigation into the shooting is underway as police look for the two suspects. Walmart was evacuated and closed for the night. Authorities encourage anyone with information to call the Wyoming Department of Public Safety. The last Powerball drawing of 2023 took place Saturday night, and once again, no one won the big jackpot valued at just over $786 million. The jackpot will now roll into the new year worth an estimated $810 million during the next drawing on January 1st. It would rank it as the 5th largest Powerball jackpot and the 10th largest U.S. lottery jackpot ever. If a ticket does match all 6 numbers Monday night, the estimated cash value would be $408.9 million. According to the Multi-State Lottery Association, the odds of winning the jackpot are 1 in 292.2 million. Okay, with those odds in mind, let's take a look at our viewer poll this morning. Scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. Today we want to know, do you plan to buy a lottery ticket this week? Okay, let's take a look. 23% of you say yes, Lady Luck might be on your side. You're going to buy one. And 77% of you say no. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. Numerous Amtrak customers experience long delays Sunday morning along its Northeast corridor due to what the company described as major server issues. The bulk of the delays hit the Northeast corridor train, but also extended to Keystone service and Empire service routes. Amtrak warned riders this morning of delays extending up to 2 hours in a few trains between New York and Boston had to be canceled outright. The company says full service has now been restored, but those early morning delays could still impact services. A 10-person family escaped a home fire in Austin Sunday morning. Firefighters say 8 adults and 2 children narrowly escaped the blaze. Crews managed to put the fire out, and damages are expected to be $150,000 for the structure and $50,000 for the home's contents. Authorities say the cause of the fire was ruled as improperly discarded smoking material. All right, the time is now 6:38 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. The ball in New York City dropped, bringing in the new year.
Tensions still high in the Middle East as the war rages on between Israel and Hamas. Plus, the United States strikes back at Houthi rebels. I'm Liz Landers in Washington with all the latest on what is happening around the world.
And coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your fishing forecast, that allergy report as well. And later on Sunrise, we'll take a look at the shower and thunderstorm chances on the horizon for parts of this week. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're all waking up with us this morning, if you're just tuning in, believe it or not, yes, you are looking at a live look at Cuervo. It is so foggy, you can barely even see that water tower. You can actually, I don't know if you can really say you can see that water tower or not, but a little chilly starting out the morning this morning, about a little chilly for some of us. 59 starting out that morning temperature in the Cuervo area, and Apooka's also the closest town to Cuervo that isn't Victoria. But with the dew point at 59 matching that temperature, you got a 100% humidity out there, which is bringing us all of that fog out there like you just saw. But that fog will be lifting around 8 a.m. this morning, so please be careful on the roads if you're driving out there this morning, because it is probably going to be a foggy one. But like I said, fog lifting by 8 a.m. will clear to some mostly cloudy skies and some cool weather again today, making a good day to go fishing. Let's take a look at your fishing forecast here. Got your high tide about today at 8:22 p.m. this evening, with your low tide about 11:58 this morning, right around noontime actually. Winds will be about 10 to 15 knots out in the north, making your base and seas slightly choppy at about 2 feet. And your water temperature about 63 degrees. And with that temperature still kind of warm, it's going to keep us in the 60s for the rest of this week. Now, today, tree pollen is moderate, and grass and ragweed are not existent, so kind of your choice if you'd like to take an allergy pill or not. For the rest of this week, though, we are sticking in the 60s with a good shot at some showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday and Friday. We'll take a look at that more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The Texans sweep the Titans and Bloomington shines in a tournament. Sports reporter Zach Brown has more.
So both Texas teams control their own destiny coming into this week. If the Cowboys win, they win the division, and the Houston Texans, what a sight to see. They get C.J. Stroud back, and it's going to pay dividends early on. He's going to find Brevin Jordan, who does the rest of the work. They're up 10-0 early. The defense was magnificent, and they only allowed a field goal in the entire first half. Houston a dominant and convincing 26-3 victory. If they win next week, they are in the postseason. It was a great week for the Bloomington Lady Cats, who swept the courts, going a perfect 5-0 in their tournament this past week. The Bloomington Lady Cats defeated Hallettsville Sacred Heart 56-44 in their championship game in the Bloomington Holiday Hoops tournament. The Lady Cats went 5-0, defeating Riviera, Kennedy, Refugio, Runge, and Sacred Heart. All tourney picks: Haley Gardner, Kenzie Proctor, and Kylie Proctor. All right, well, Cowboys fans, Texans fans, we've got a lot to look forward to this final week of the season. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. We now turn to the conflict in the Middle East.
The new year ushering in more tensions in the Middle East as the United States military says that for the first time, they've killed Iran-backed Houthi rebels from Yemen after they attacked Navy helicopters in the Red Sea. The incident happened when rebels in 4 small boats launched missiles at a commercial Maersk cargo ship. When Navy helicopters from the USS Eisenhower responded to distress calls from the ship, they also faced incoming rocket fire. U.S. Central Command says that the helicopters fired back in self-defense, sinking 3 of the boats, killing 10 Houthi members, according to Yemeni armed forces. After more than 24 recent attacks, the U.S. formed an international coalition to protect the key shipping lane.
We don't seek a conflict wider in the region. We certainly aren't looking for a conflict with the Houthis. The best outcome here would be for the Houthis to stop these attacks, as we have made clear over and over again.
Back in Israel, 2024 opened where 2023 left off, with a rocket fire exchange between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Rockets fired from Gaza into Israel at the start of the new year triggered sirens throughout south and central Israel, but no reports of any direct hits. The Israeli military saying in recent days that it expects the war in Gaza to last through the entirety of 2024, and they will adjust troops in Gaza. Prime Minister Netanyahu is also vowing to take back control of Gaza's border with Egypt, but the U.S. is at odds with that decision.
We just take a fundamentally different view here in terms of what post-conflict Gaza needs to look like. We believe that a reformed and revamped Palestinian Authority is probably the best way to get at that.
Though most Israelis stand behind the goals of the war in Gaza, thousands still took to the streets this weekend to protest Netanyahu's handling of the conflict, as more than 120 hostages still remain captive in Gaza. In Washington, Liz Landers, ABC News.
The ball dropped in New York City, bringing in the new year of 2024. Viewers gathered in a city that never sleeps to count down to the final seconds of 2023. Security measures were also ramped up ahead of the celebration as tensions have grown due to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. As confetti flew in New York, people took pictures, embraced the moment, and shared that special first kiss of the new year. The time is now 6:45 on our Monday morning. Still to come, we take a look at some of the top headlines from 2023.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. If y'all wake up this morning, just tuning in, a little chilly out there starting out your morning in the 50s right now, but yesterday we got up to 76 degrees. That was yesterday's high. If you believe that or not, it was nice, warm weather the last few days, but starting out a little chilly at about 38 degrees in the morning. But the question is that going to stick around today with that warm weather? Answer is no. Here's why. Because you got this actually real weak cool front coming our way. It's actually passing right through, actually about to pass through Cuero right now as we speak. Actually, I think you can see all these dust particles kind of being kicked up in the air by those little stronger winds and that cooler air coming behind it. But let's take a look at the temperatures for the rest of the day. Like I said, it's going to be just a little cool today. Not going to be in the warm temperatures like we did yesterday. Starting in the 50s here this morning, but we're only going to be warming up just a few degrees into the low 60s this afternoon. And take a look at the showers chances for the rest of this week as well, because that's going to be the other big talk is tomorrow. We might see some thunderstorms tomorrow. So take a look at your future tracker here. Not expecting any showers today. As you can see here, the radar is completely clear here for this afternoon. But as we fast forward to tomorrow about noontime, as you can see here about noontime, a few showers starting to develop in the Santa Ana area, but really becoming more widespread in our area by around the later afternoon going into the evening and the overnight hours. As you can see here by 6 p.m. Look at all of those showers. Even some of those are some embedded thunderstorms in there as well. Now, the good news is no severe weather is expected for tomorrow. And I don't know why this says there's some hail, but we're not really expecting any. So just don't pay attention to that. We're not really expecting any severe weather. But coming up a little bit, we'll take a look at those temperatures for the rest of the week and those ray chances for the rest of the week and more in just a few more moments. Carolina, back to you.
Thank you, Parker. With 2023 coming to an end, we wanted to highlight some of our top stories from that year. Okay, here's Adam Seibel with our year in review.
2023 is coming to a close, and 25 News Now wanted to take a look back on this year and some of the top local stories we covered in the Crossroads. Coming in at number 5 is Jeannie Morrison's announcement that she is not seeking re-election. The State House Representatives District 30, Morrison was the longest-serving Republican woman in the Texas House of Representatives, serving 13 terms in the Texas legislature. This in turn led to the Victoria Mayor Jeff Bouknight to announce his run for Texas House District 30 to fill Morrison's place, which then led to the Victoria mayoral race, a special election which saw 6 candidates for the Victoria voters to decide on February 3rd, 2024. Next up at number 4 was a shooting at Victoria College. In November, a 30-year-old Victoria College student was found shot in the parking lot of the college. This led to the campus lockdown and an alert by Victoria College. The victim was expected to make a full recovery. Number 3, we have the new police chief of the Victoria Police Department, Chuck Young, who in May was the sole finalist to become the new police chief. And with a new arrival, we also bid farewell to the Victoria Fire Department Chief, Robert Fox, spending 27 years with the Victoria Fire Department after he announced his retirement in September. At number 2, we have not just an issue here in the Crossroads, but across the nation, the deadly wave of fentanyl that is killing Americans. We spoke with the former sheriff of Victoria County, T. Michael O'Connor, on the deadly matter.
Commerce. It's all about commerce. They care less of the consequences of their businesses. And so the cartel in China, as well as other Asian countries, are all in together for the business of trafficking humans and drugs.
And coming in at number 1, we have 2 separate stories, but both with grim endings. The deaths of 19-year-old Amanda Stevenson and 16-year-old Elizabeth Medina. Amanda, a Victoria woman, was murdered by her Uber driver, Kevin Benenston, in November, who killed himself during a traffic stop while he was being questioned by Victoria police officers. Then in December, 16-year-old Edna High School cheerleader Elizabeth Medina was found stabbed to death in her home by her mother. A man was arrested in connection to her death.
My daughter was found in a way that no mother should ever find their child. Someone hurt my child.
Through the ups and downs of local news, we thank our viewers for watching us and trusting the team at Crossroads Today to bring you all your local news, weather, and sports. Until next year, Crossroads, I'm Adam Seibel, reporting in Victoria, 25 News Now.
Thank you, Adam. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Canines and their humans gathered in Madrid for a traditional eating of the grapes, but for the dogs, it was balls of dog food. Japan has issued a tsunami warning after multiple strong earthquakes struck on New Year's Day. The massive quakes hit off the coast of Ishikawa, with one even reaching a magnitude of 7.6, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency, with tremors being felt in Tokyo as well. The agency also issued the tsunami warning after 32,000 buildings had lost power. Japanese public broadcaster NHK TV has now warned that waves could reach as high as 5 meters or 16.5 feet. They've also urged people on the entire West Coast to escape to the highest place as soon as possible. Canines and their humans gathered in Madrid for the traditional eating of the grapes, and for the dogs, it was balls of dog food. The Spanish tradition is meant to bring good luck in the new year. The organization that sponsored the event raises money to fight the mistreatment of animals. Children in South Korea enjoyed some winter activities over the weekend, including sledding, building snowmen, and even a few snowball fights. The capital of Seoul received just under 4 inches of snow. It may not seem like much, but it's the heaviest snowfall recorded for December in more than 40 years. Porridge, rice, watermelon, and sugar cane were on the menu at the Chitwan Elephant Festival in Nepal as locals put on the annual feast for the friendly pachyderms. The domesticated elephants work in the national park on jungle patrols, and they're part of the tourism industry, but were given the day off to enjoy the feast. All right, now let's get a look at our forecast with First Warn Storm team meteorologist Parker Cox.
Thanks, Carolina. And good morning, folks. If y'all wake up this morning, if you're just tuning in, look at a live look at Victoria. Yes, if your eyes are not deceived, this is a picture of eastern Victoria where it is quite foggy out there this morning. Very foggy. In fact, that fog is so thick out there, the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for most of us here along the coast. So please be careful if you're out on the roads this morning. And that's also, Carolina told me that New Year's Day is one of the most dangerous days to drive because you got drunk drivers and stuff out there. So please be extra careful on the roads this morning. Starting out 56 degrees this morning, so a little bit chilly. Not too bad though, but very humid. Like I said, with the dew point just 1 degree off, get a 97% humidity. In fact, as we take a look at your visibility, currently for the rest of our area, most of us starting out on under a mile in visibility, while some of us are under a quarter mile, like here in Victoria, where we couldn't even see like a tenth of a mile out in front of us here on the crossroads. But let's take a look what's going on here for the rest of this week. We're thinking we got a couple shower opportunities here. Here comes our first one coming out of the Pacific. It's actually going to come right out of the southern Pacific, kind of right over the Baja Peninsula and California, and it's going to start redeveloping right over the West Texas and even kind of southern Panhandle region of Texas, bringing us a good shot at some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Now we're talking probably about late afternoon going into the evening and overnight hours is when we're thinking those showers and thunderstorms are going to start developing in our area. Give us a good couple of rumbles of thunder. Now, no severe weather is expected, so that's the good news for tomorrow. But for the next system that's going to come our way, it's going to be the next big rainmaker coming our way. It's going to come out of the northern Pacific, actually, and it's going to traverse right over the Rocky Mountains and redevelop. This one's going to develop right over the Panhandle, bring us our next shot at some good showers and thunderstorms on Friday going into Saturday. Now, what's going to happen after that finally moves off? This might become a nor'easter and head right up the east coast, dumping a lot of rain and snow. Look at all that heavy snow that could be dumped on the Northeast. It's going to be a busy weather week for the Northeast, but for here in the crossroads, it's going to be nice and calm in the 60s for the rest of this week. Going to be nice and cool with that mild, cool weather, but a good shot at some showers and thunderstorms. Like I said, on Tuesday, we've got 80% on Tuesday and 80% on Friday as well, with some windy conditions also expected this week as well, with those windy conditions picking up as those new systems keep on getting closer.
And we definitely want to remind our viewers, if you're heading out there, it is quite foggy. You probably don't want to put those high beams on.
Yes.
It can be quite inconsiderate to other drivers on the road.
Yes.
Just keep those low beams on and be safe out there. It will evaporate as we get further into our day. And
Absolutely.
we want to thank you for joining us and have a wonderful start to your new year. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join us tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Happy New Year.